Today, we're diving into a topic that is all about naval power and global influence: aircraft carriers. These massive floating air bases are the ultimate symbol of a nation's military might, projecting power across the world's oceans. So, the big question is, which country has the most aircraft carriers? Let's get into it. When you think of aircraft carriers, one country probably comes to mind immediately: the United States. And you'd be right. The U.S. Navy operates the largest and most advanced fleet of aircraft carriers in the world, by a long shot. As of today, the United States has 11 active aircraft carriers. That's more than the rest of the world combined. They are all nuclear-powered supercarriers, which gives them incredible endurance and range. They can operate for decades without refueling. The backbone of the fleet consists of 10 Nimitz-class carriers. The first of its class, the USS Nimitz, was commissioned way back in 1975. The last one, the USS George H.W. Bush, entered service in 2009, over 1,000 feet long, and can carry around 90 aircraft. Think about that for a second: a single ship carrying an air force more powerful than what many entire countries possess. They are floating cities with a crew of over 5,000 sailors and aviators. But the U.S. isn't stopping there. They are in the process of replacing the older Nimitz-class carriers with the new, even more advanced Gerald R. Ford class. The first ship in this new class, the USS Gerald R. Ford, is already in service. This new generation of carriers comes with a host of technological upgrades, like the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, or EMALS, which replaces the old steam catapults. It's smoother, more efficient, and can launch a wider variety of aircraft, including future unmanned drones. It's a significant leap forward in carrier technology. So, with the U.S. having 11, who comes in second place? This is where it gets interesting because the numbers drop off dramatically. The country with the second highest number of aircraft carriers is China. China currently operates the carriers, the Liaoning and the Shandong. The Liaoning, their first carrier, actually started its life in the Soviet Union. It was an unfinished hull that China purchased, extensively refitted, and commissioned in 2012. It served as a crucial training platform for the People's Liberation Army Navy, helping them build the expertise needed to operate these complex vessels. Their second carrier, the Shandong, is China's first domestically built carrier. It's based on the Liaoning's design but includes several improvements. It was commissioned in 2019 and represents a huge step for China's naval ambitions. But China isn't stopping at 2. They have a third carrier, the Fujian, which was launched in 2022. The Fujian is a much more advanced design, larger than its predecessors and featuring an electromagnetic catapult system similar to the one on the U.S. Ford-class carriers. This will allow it to launch heavier and more diverse aircraft. Once the Fujian is commissioned and fully operational, China will have a 3-carrier fleet, solidifying its position as the world's second-largest carrier power. The United Kingdom, a nation with a long and proud naval history, currently operates 2 Queen Elizabeth-class carriers, the HMS Queen Elizabeth and the HMS Prince of Wales. These are the largest warships ever built for the Royal Navy. They have a unique twin-island design and are optimized for operating short takeoff and vertical landing aircraft, specifically the F-35B Lightning II. While not nuclear-powered like their U.S. counterparts, they are formidable platforms that have restored the UK's carrier strike capability. What about Russia? The successor to the Soviet Navy, Russia currently has 1 aircraft carrier, the Admiral Kuznetsov. It's a similar class to China's Liaoning, as they both share the same Soviet-era design. However, the Admiral Kuznetsov has been plagued by mechanical issues and has spent a significant amount of time in shipyards for repairs and refits. It suffered a major fire in 2019 in a dry dock accident, which has kept it out of service for years, highlighting the immense difficulty and cost of maintaining these complex warships. Next up is India, another country with significant naval aspiration. India currently operates 1 aircraft carrier, the INS Vikramaditya, which was a modified Soviet-era cruiser purchased from Russia. It entered service with the Indian Navy in 2013. India has also been developing its own domestic carrier building capabilities. They recently commissioned their first indigenously built carrier, the INS Vikrant. This is a massive achievement for India's shipbuilding industry, which is a significant milestone for its power projection in the Indian Ocean. France is unique because it is the only country, besides the United States, to operate a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the Charles de Gaulle. Commissioned in 2001, it's smaller than the American supercarriers, but still a very capable ship. It uses catapults to launch its aircraft. France is already planning a next-generation nuclear-powered carrier. to eventually replace the Charles de Gaulle, showing its long-term commitment to this capability. Italy also operates aircraft carriers, or what are sometimes called light carriers or amphibious assault ships with carrier capabilities. Italy has such ships. The Cavour, which is their flagship, can operate helicopters and short takeoff jets like the F-35B. They also have the Giuseppe Garibaldi, their older carrier, which is still in service. Plus, they have a new, larger amphibious assault ship, the Trieste, which will also be able to operate F-35Bs, effectively giving Italy a potent, if small, carrier force. So, if we tally everything up, the list looks something like this. The United States is at the top with 11. China comes next with 2 in service and a third one on the way. The United Kingdom and India each have 2 carriers, like France and Russia, although Russia's is currently non-operational. And then there are nations like Italy, which operate ships that are a hybrid of an amphibious assault ship and a light aircraft carrier. Other countries like Japan and South Korea are also getting into the game. They are modifying their large helicopter-carrying destroyers or amphibious assault ships to be able to operate F-35B jets. For Japan, this is a significant move, as it marks the return of carrier aviation for the first time since World War II. These ships, like the Izumo and Kaga, once converted, will essentially function as light aircraft carriers. So why the huge difference in numbers? Why does the US have so many more than everyone else? It comes down to a few key factors: strategy, budget, and technology. The United States maintains a global military presence, and its strategy relies on being able to project power anywhere in the world at a moment's notice. Carriers are the centerpiece of this strategy, and that's just for the ship. Operating it, maintaining it, and equipping it with an air wing of advanced aircraft costs billions more each year. For other countries, the strategic calculus is different, particularly in the South China Sea and projecting power into the Indian Ocean. A fleet of 3 or 4 carriers is sufficient for that goal. Carriers are about maintaining their status as major powers and having the ability to act independently when needed. Building and operating an aircraft carrier is one of the most complex and expensive endeavors a nation can undertake. It's not just about building the ship, it's about developing the entire ecosystem around it. A fleet of support ships like destroyers and submarines to protect the carrier, and the logistical network to keep it all supplied. It's a testament to a nation's industrial capacity, technological prowess, and economic strength. So, to answer the initial question definitively, the United States has the most aircraft carriers with a fleet of 11 nuclear-powered supercarriers. The landscape is changing, and the investment